I do like the kind of like bread and butter of the day, no TV for the children, just like this sort of like whole food diet for the children being part of their kind of social diet as well. Just that they...
This is one of 9. We make documentaries about Catholic family life up and down the country.
You just checking with me, yes.
Yeah,
we do.
Still
we do.
I'm Peter.
Maybe I'll start thinking of words that I don't quite like as well, that I'll start saying. And then you have to check with me whether I like the words. I like the way you said it. I have to try and make some strong opinions about it.
No, you have got this. Pet peeves came up. We watched the
Hugh Grant
pet peeves. And
we played a game, and it was a list game, and we had to write a list of pet peeves, and I was just like, oh, pet peeves, what could they be? And it was
don't really have any. It's declared Maria. And then I think week on week, and then it became every few days, a pet peeve would reveal itself. Maria. I think it's great. Anyway, you've got some great pet peeves, and you should share them.
And then we watched Hugh Grant, and he's got some pet peeves.
Yeah, pet peeves. some of them I agree wholeheartedly. We
travel the United Kingdom. England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales.
Yeah.
Having a little look into other people's lives, Catholic lives.
Yeah.
And
grassroots.
It is cool seeing how differently people live. And then the people that we go and see usually think that what they're doing isn't anything massively different for anyone else, but it's always totally different.
I think if you believe both parents are going to Mass and you've got children, you are massively different to most people.
To lots of people, yeah. And that's not always easy, and all the different things, all the different things at play to stop that happening. So... if you're a new viewer, thank you so much if you're one of our
evergreen
supporters.
Episodes, aren't they, as well, generally? Like, it doesn't matter if we did it a few years ago, it's still relevant.
Yeah, I mean, like some of their stories are from a few years ago as well, so historical things, but some incredible...
tough stories.
Stories.
Yep, amazing.
Like you say, each one. That's it.
Today is no TV in the house. I wouldn't even notice.
Whole food diet of wholesome childhoodness. And we don't live in like the countryside, to be honest. That is my idyllic view of what like wholesome childhood is. Like the children, we have a tree and they climb the tree, but otherwise, they are literally dangling off like different trees and they're going exploring and making dens and different. Like they've got a lot of space, and that is
those old-fashioned walls, those old-fashioned brick walls, wooden pole washing line, massive, going across the garden, children helping mother, put the washing out, windy day. By the coast.
Yeah. White sheets.
Anyway, what we're doing, no TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even notice now. I've become so Kool-Aided by our kind of Catholic Kool-Aid lifestyle that I don't even notice we've got no TV. It's not a declaration I make about myself that, guys, guess what? I've got no TV.
Yeah.
It's just not... When I see it, I'm kind of...
And the children, some children more than others are really attracted to the TV.
Yeah.
Like any screen whatsoever. Oh, can I see that thing? Can I look at those photos from the other day, from that other week when we went to the thing? Like, one child in particular I'm thinking of for us who just wants to always look at a screen.
One of our children?
No, one more than others. Anyway, I'll tell you after.
That's yourself, yeah.
But otherwise... they are used to just going out and playing. And I do find, as soon as I have put something on, we do have a little tablet, we do have phones, and we do have a screen that we can plug some sort of device into for them to
watch a movie.
I don't even know how to plug anything into that.
Well done, Maria.
We don't even have a laptop anymore, so that's that. We just have those things. I would like to get a laptop again though. It's quite helpful. When we do put it on, I find that it's just, although it's initially easy, you think, yes, just sit there, neat and tidy, don't muck anything else up, tidy it up, just sit there and watch some TV, some whatever it is. But then I find we have to kind of claw them back afterwards, and that is such a lug as well. They just become zombified.
Difficult.
Then they're sort of then they want the TV more regularly, can we watch that thing again? Then they're on the TV thing.
It's disappointing, isn't it, when you hear kids keep asking for it as well. You're like, shut up, come on, guys.
Sometimes I just get so stressed out with them.
Get annoyed with them,
Don't even ask me. Because if you ask me again, I think you're addicted, and then I'm going to go really anti it, okay? Just no one say anything else about a screen. They sometimes watch a learning lunch. So maybe it's Superbook, which is like a Christian Bible series thing, or something that they're learning about in science, or
they do watch a movie as well. We're not
on the odd occasion they watch a movie, absolutely, but it's really odd. I don't remember the last time they watched Anything.
They watched a clip of...
I watched a clip of Fiddler on the Roof the other day.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I
And
was
John's even thinking, this is taking ages. It was 2.5 minutes.
No, we get great value out of
It's
clips
so
of
good.
movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. It's such a good movie. I showed them a clip as well of Maverick, the new Top Gun movie.
Cool. Is it out yet?
So cool. Yeah, of course. Been and gone.
Why you call it new then? There's a new one coming out this month. That's the new one.
Mission Impossible, Maria.
Oh,
Tom
what
Cruise
did
is
you
in
say
every...
then?
Because Tom Cruise is in everything. It's
What was the other
confusing.
thing you called it?
Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun.
I
Oh,
know.
right. Yeah, I'm mixing up.
Yep.
I see.
Sorry. Yeah, so
Okay.
they get sucked into the warp. If there's a TV there,
I do.
yeah, you do. So it's just best not have it
And
at
you know, I
all.
was listening to something, Father Ripper talking about prayer, and he was saying when you are used to watching TV, your mind's kind of like set on that the imagination isn't as active and it doesn't automatically kind of flare and move and whatever because it's used to being fed.
Yeah, I like Father Ripper. I agree with almost everything he says, but
You don't like that?
yeah, I just think, how do you know that? I just think,
Well, you can, absolutely. The children are like zombies after.
yeah, I think
they lose
I think it's the kind of thing you
imagination,
can
they lose
say that just fits your argument.
Okay, well...
Because you do get a lot of
I do
visual
notice
stimulus
that. I
that
noticed with the children.
can be
yeah,
repurposed for your imagination.
yeah, and he does say it's very good as well. He was saying that just before he made that sentence.
All right.
And the talk is about an hour long. It's very good about prayer. I really like it.
Like a movie should be a treat, not a
Yeah.
one to the next to the next. So
Yeah.
the visual...
There's so many movies out there, isn't there?
There's so many crap ones. But good ones are kind of, I think, a great... I can call these things the fifth gospel because they kind of... If you meditate on them and think about them, maybe not meditate, but kind of... There's Christ.
There's a
in the-
reality played out in front of you.
yeah,
and
a story
you
about
see...
the human condition.
Yeah, and actually, when we did that, an interview of one couple, and this bit didn't make it into the edit, but he was saying about when you're dating and watching a film. It's a really interesting way to learn about the other person, to see what do they think about the different... I thought that was a cool idea.
Excellent small talk, Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Small...
Have you... Yeah, I suppose you could just ask something. Have you seen this film? You have.
What did you think?
You've seen it.
yeah. Or Night and Day. Okay, tick. No, Fiddler on the Roof is so lovely,
Fiddler on
Maria.
the
That
Roof.
father
The first half
is
is
so magnetic. He's so kind of vivacious, isn't he? How he talks and
Oh,
humorous.
yeah.
He talks to God. He talks to
Red
his children.
Trivia.
Oh, Maria. And
Yeah.
He's in his 30s. He's a young guy, actually, when he's playing. Yeah, Maria, you cannot believe it. I think he's still alive. By the skin of his teeth. Oh, he died recently or something, but he's in his 30s when he plays that role. You wouldn't get that character. You wouldn't ordinarily meet a character like that, but for watching the movie. And
Yeah. So anyway, no
Yeah.
TV and all that.
yeah, or TV, a movie is a treat, screen is
Yeah.
a treat, or a...
I suppose it ultimately makes you more thoughtful about when they're going to watch something. And look, before anyone starts saying they're having a really hard time, they've got to put TV on every afternoon after school, go for it, do what you want. But honestly, this is just kind of, this is what I think, what we experience.
Yeah, and you
know,
don't-
I don't mean
it's
to say that everyone's
disappointing.
got to do this. Everyone shouldn't,
It'd be disappointing if you got to if the child got to 16 and never really got out or did stuff because they were sat in front of the TV or playing computer games. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is...
Because even like they get
depressing.
whingy or something, I'm like, just go outside. I sort of prefer
bugger
to have
off.
that kind of wholesome knowledge that they are working on something. Because I think that's really good when they are totally bored. They're at that moment where they have to do something.
Tough love, Maria.
Yeah, it's
think
great.
Hugo
And I say that to
Rupert-
them sometimes. You're bored. This is amazing. One, boring people get bored, so don't get, but like, don't tell anyone that you're bored. You're bored because boring people get bored. But
Work
this
it
just
out.
means that you've got all the opportunities. What do you like doing? Inside, outside, crafty, using your mind, relaxing, reading a book, story. Like, what book on the shelf haven't you looked at? Just pick one off.
I think Hugo and Rupert
Card games.
had to learn to be friends. They didn't kind of just kick it off now. I remember when
That's true.
Yeah, they just had to...
Yeah.
And the girls now play out in the garden
Yes.
very happily.
Yeah. And with the other children from the
Yeah,
surrounding streets and things. Yeah. Go, work it out.
work it out.
Yeah. That's nice. And then cards has come into our family recently. I like that change. We've actually sought out to learn some new games to kind of entice them in playing cards, because that's a nice good old
It's a time
leisure activity. And that's the thing as well, isn't it? Like, what are good leisure activities? What are things that they can do where they can use their imagination?
You can have a great laugh about it as well.
Like, not even necessarily exert themselves so much. A puzzle. Oh my gosh. Look, I was going to say, looking at a painting. We've got this gorgeous new book, Story of Painting by Sister Wendy Beckett. Got on eBay for about £3. It is a big solid hardback and it is beautiful.
Bit of culture for £3.50. They're great for winter as well, because summer play is a lot easier than getting through winter with kids trapped indoors for, it's dark at 4:30. A 3-bedroom house. It's probably another chat about my views on 3 and 2 bedroom houses are the future of the Catholic faith. Okay, so great TV, great start. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you.
God bless. Love to hear your thoughts.